Have you ever questioned why wisdom and understanding are so crucial to life? It's a query that has been pondered by philosophers, scholars, and everyday individuals for centuries. Today we turn to the timeless wisdom of Proverbs 5 in the Bible, where these themes are explored with profound depth. In these ancient verses, wisdom and understanding are not merely abstract concepts, they're practical tools for navigating the complexities of life. They are our compass, guiding us through a world filled with both sweet promises and hidden pitfalls. Proverbs 5 in particular presents a vivid cautionary tale against the dangers of adultery. It paints a picture of seduction, warning us that not all that glitters is gold. The allure of the adulterous woman as described in these verses may be as sweet as honey and smoother than oil, but the consequences of succumbing to this temptation are bitter and sharp, leading to a path of destruction and regret. The wisdom and understanding extolled in Proverbs 5 are not about shaming or instilling fear. Rather, they provide a roadmap for maintaining discretion and preserving knowledge. They underscore the importance of listening to wise counsel and not turning aside from valuable teachings. They remind us to stay on the right path, to keep our feet from wandering aimlessly, and to be mindful of the consequences of our choices. These themes are just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago when these verses were first written. In our modern world, filled with distractions and temptations, the call to wisdom and understanding is more important than ever. It's a call to self-awareness, personal responsibility, and making choices that honor not just ourselves, but also the relationships we hold dear. So, as we delve into the verses of Proverbs 5, let's keep these themes in mind. Let's reflect on the power of wisdom and understanding, and how they can guide us in our daily lives. So, let's delve into Proverbs 5 and discover why wisdom and understanding are so crucial. Scene script. Proverbs 5 starts with a call for attention to wisdom and understanding. In the first verse of Proverbs 5, we're advised to heed wisdom and understanding. It's a fatherly call to his son, a plea for him to listen and learn. However, this isn't just a father-son conversation, it's a universal call to us all, reminding us to pay attention to the wisdom around us, to listen actively, and absorb knowledge. The second verse continues this theme, emphasizing the importance of maintaining discretion and preserving knowledge. It's not just about hearing wisdom, but internalizing it. It's about making it a part of your life, a guiding force that helps you navigate the world with discernment and insight. As we move on to verse 3, the metaphor of the adulterous woman is introduced. Her lips, we are told, drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. These vivid images serve to paint a picture of temptation, of a lure that might seem sweet and enticing on the surface. Yet, verse 4 swiftly counters this illusion. Despite her sweet words and smooth talk, the adulterous woman is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. It's a stark warning against the dangers of succumbing to temptation, of straying from the path of wisdom and discretion. In verse 5, we're told that the adulterous woman's steps lead straight to the grave. It's a grave caution against the path of temptation, a path that leads to death, not just physical but spiritual and moral. The sixth verse reinforces the peril of this path. The adulterous woman gives no thought to the way of life, wandering aimlessly, oblivious to her own self-destruction. It's a sobering reminder of the importance of not just knowing wisdom but living it, of not just hearing understanding but applying it. In these verses we see the dangerous path that leads away from wisdom and understanding. It's a path we're all called to avoid, a call to live with discretion, to preserve knowledge, and to resist the allure of temptation. The warning continues with a plea to avoid the path of the adulterous woman. As we delve into verses 7 to 14 of Proverbs chapter 5, the verses underscore the importance of heeding wisdom and understanding, and the grave consequences of ignoring these virtues. In verse 7, the speaker implores his listeners, saying, "Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say." This plea underlines the gravity of the message. It's not just advice. It's a warning to avoid the path of temptation and sin. Moving on to verse 8, the speaker advises to stay far from her, not even to go near the door of her house. The her here is figurative, representing temptation and sin. The advice is clear. Keep a safe distance from anything that could lead you astray. Verses 9 and 10 warn of the potential losses one might face if they fail to heed this warning. Lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel, lest strangers feast on your wealth and your toil enrich the house of another. The message here is profound. falling into temptation can lead to loss of honor, dignity, and even material wealth. The next verse, verse 11, paints a more somber picture. At the end of your life you will groan, when your flesh and body are spent. The regret of ignoring wisdom and understanding is profound and long-lasting. It isn't just a passing discomfort, it's a deep, lifelong regret. Verses 12 to 14 further elaborate on this regret. How I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. I would not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors, and I was soon in serious trouble in the assembly of God's people. These verses underscore the serious consequences of rejecting wisdom and correction. Ignoring wisdom and understanding leads to regret and sorrow, as these verses clearly illustrate. The metaphor of water serves to further illustrate the importance of faithfulness. Let's dive into verses 15 to 20 of Proverbs chapter 5. Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Here, the water symbolizes the intimate and personal aspects of marriage. The cistern or well represents the wife, and the advice is to find satisfaction and fulfillment within the bounds of one's own marriage. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares? This question warns against indiscretion and infidelity. If the water from your well, representing the special bond in your marriage, overflows into the streets and public squares, it is shared with strangers. This metaphorically refers to the sharing of the intimate aspects of marriage with those outside the marital bond. Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. The counsel here is clear. What is intimately shared within marriage should be kept within the marriage. It is a sacred bond that is to be respected and cherished. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. This verse brings a beautiful image of a blessed life, celebrating the love and joy found within a long-lasting, committed relationship. The wife of your youth is a poetic way to refer to a long-term partner, someone with whom you've shared many life experiences. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breasts satisfy you always, may you ever be intoxicated with her love. This verse continues to praise the beauty of marital love and intimacy. It encourages continual delight and satisfaction in the love of one's spouse. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? The chapter concludes this section with a rhetorical question, underlining the folly of seeking satisfaction outside of one's marriage. These verses remind us of the joy found in faithfulness and the danger of straying. They remind us to appreciate, cherish, and find satisfaction in our own relationships, avoiding the temptation to seek fulfillment elsewhere. The concluding verses of Proverbs 5 bring us back to the divine perspective. Diving into verse 21, we encounter a sobering reminder, "For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and He examines all your paths." This verse underscores the omniscience of God, that He sees everything and knows every path we take. There's no secret corner of our lives hidden from His sight, no action that goes unnoticed. It's a call to accountability, reminding us that our choices, actions, and even our intentions are all transparent before God. Moving to verse 22, the evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them, the cords of their sins hold them fast. Here we're shown the consequences of wickedness. It's a vivid depiction of how sin entangles and traps, holding its victims captive. It's not a punishment imposed from the outside, but rather the natural consequence, the intrinsic result of choosing a path away from wisdom and goodness. Finally, verse 23 wraps up the chapter with a stark warning. For lack of discipline, they will die, led astray by their own great folly. This verse underscores the importance of discipline in our lives. It suggests that without it, we risk being led astray by our own foolishness. The result is spiritual death, a separation from the life-giving wisdom of God. It's a strong admonition to heed wisdom's call and to embrace discipline in our lives. These final verses of Proverbs 5 are a powerful conclusion, driving home the importance of maintaining a disciplined, righteous life in full view of God. They remind us that our actions have consequences, and that we're accountable for the paths we choose. As we conclude our exploration of Proverbs 5, remember the importance of wisdom and understanding, and the dangers of ignoring these valuable assets in life. This chapter is a timeless reminder of the power of discipline, the perils of folly, and the ever-watchful eye of God. It's a call to live our lives in the light of divine wisdom, with the understanding that our paths are always in full view of the Lord.